Hi everyone, and welcome back. I am going to talk about my September hopefuls in the middle of September, because I'm weird that way. I can't believe that half of September is already gone though, time is moving way too fast. I haven't been doing a lot of reading this month so far. There's cats everywhere, by the way, in case. But I haven't been doing a lot of reading. I've been exhausted. I still am exhausted. Hi Nana. I am actually on sick leave because of my exhaustion right now. So that's where my head is at. It's been a slow day. I spent last weekend at my parents' place. They live further south in Sweden than I do. It takes me 6 hours to get there, but it was worth it. I spent some time with my sister and with my parents. It was my mom's birthday. So it was a good weekend. But yeah, I'm tired. Nana is tired too, obviously. But I'm excited. I am excited. I have a few good books on my hopeful list for this month, so I'm actually hoping to get through them. And seriously, let me start off by saying that basically all of my hopefuls this month, except for one, is ebooks, because I realized the other day that I am so much slower reading physical books than reading ebooks, and I need that quick fix. So reading on my ebook is probably gonna be like a top priority right now. I still read physical books, they take a lot longer for me to read, especially when I annotate them. So for September, most of my books on my hopeful lists are ebooks, because I plan on reading classics in October because it's spooky. So I want to get through like some fast-paced, delicious reads before that, because the classics I'm going to read are physical books. So we'll have to see if I manage to get through them. But yeah, I can start off with mentioning the physical book that's on my hopeful list. My physical book that's on my hopeful list is Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I have a gorgeous edition. It's actually up here. His new shelf, slowly upgrading my reading corner. But I have this edition of Alice in Wonderland, and I got it as a birthday gift last year, and the pages are gilded. It's so pretty. And if I removed the dust jacket, just look at that. It's gorgeous. And Alice in Wonderland is one of my all-time favorites. So I am so happy to be having it. I'm gonna have to fix that later, and I can see properly. So that's like the one physical book that's on my hopeful list. And I have to admit that since I'm filming this in the middle of September, I have already finished one of my hopeful books, but it was so good. I devoured it, and I feel sorry for Void that has to like live with my book rambles. I mean, he doesn't seem to be complaining. He even encourages me and keeps telling me that, no, keep them coming, I want to know what happens. He's an enabler. But it's okay, because I love him for it. But yeah, so the first hopeful is Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. That specific edition, because it's a gorgeous edition and I haven't read it yet. I mean, I've read Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, just not that edition. Yeah. But the other hopefuls I have for this month is The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. It's a young adult paranormal and fantasy book, and this is actually the one I finished for this month. I already finished it because it was good. It was intense. It was so good, and I'm gonna save the rambles for my September wrap-up video, but it was so good. If you have it on your TBR and you haven't picked it up and actually read it yet, do it. I mean, I've seen it around on Instagram, but I haven't given it much thought. But then I was like, you know what? No, the reviews and opinions I've seen about it has been good, so I decided to, hey, why not? Let's do it. And just the beginning of the blurb. Listen to this. Hemlock Falls isn't like other towns. You won't find it on a map. Your phone won't work here, and the forest outside town might just kill you. And now that I've read the book, I can comfortably say that the forest might actually kill you. You have no idea. But it is so good. It's full of like teenage angst of not fitting in and just wanting what's best for your family and whatnot. It's really good. It's really good. See, Nana is just going to be the star of the show in my videos. He's just going to be returning. I'm not sure you can see him, but I have Hikke. Hikke is my cat, and he's sitting in the window. Whereas Nana is Matti's cat, and is a bit of an attention. But yeah. The next book on my hopefuls list, my brain is buffering. I basically rolled out of bed an hour ago. Less than an hour, half an hour ago, maybe? So you're getting a morning video today. But I'm having one of those days that if I don't film it in the morning, I won't be filming it at all. So you get my morning rambles, you get cats, and you get me in my pajamas. So this is the vibe we're going for today. But the next book on my September hopefuls is All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. But it's a young adult fantasy with LGBT rep in it. It's the first book in a series. I don't know why I keep stumbling upon series lately, but I do, and I'm not really a series kind of person, but I guess I am now. And I mean, it's high school setting with tarot and witches, so I'm like, what's not to love? This witchcraft practicing witch, if there's a good fictional book out there with witches in it, I will most likely want to read it. Because it's just interesting and it gives me that sense of magic that I honestly wish existed in real life, but it doesn't. Hi. So I take what I get, okay? I take what I get. And tarot cards are complicated. It's so many cards to memorize. And I've been reading tarot for years and years, and I still don't know them by heart. I know a few cards by heart from the major arcane, but I don't know all of them by heart, so yeah. But the beginning of the blurb goes, Maeve's strangely astute tarot readings make her the talk of the school until a classmate draws a chilling and unfamiliar card, and then disappears. Like, tarot cards are complicated enough as they are. Now they do this. I mean, I'm super excited to read this book because it sounds like it's going to be so good. I am thrilled and excited, and I just have to get to it. But I'm currently reading another book on my ebook, so it'll have to wait. And then we have All Our Hidden Gifts is another one of those books that I haven't really heard a lot about. I really need to get back into the swing of book talk because there seems to be a lot of recs going on book talk as well. But TikTok eats time, okay? I keep thinking that, I'll just be on here for 5 minutes and then it's been an hour. So I try to be careful. So I'm excited. And then the next book on my hopefuls list has been all over Instagram though, and I am here for it and I am excited. And this is probably one of the books I am the most excited about, but I'm also terrified because I get scared of reading hyped books because I'm like, okay, but what if they don't live up to the hype, you know? So the next book on my list is by Hikke, is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. Yeah. So it finally made it onto my e-reader. It's finally on there. I am gonna read it. I am so excited. But like I said, I'm terrified. Because I want to like the book because I know there's so much LGBT rep in it and I really want to like the book. But I'm also like, okay, because my brain tends to go the opposite direction, so if everyone else likes it, I tend to not like it. And I'm pretty sure it's just something I set myself up for, but it is what it is. But it's a young adult fantasy with, as I said, LGBT. And I mean, when I read the blurb the first time, the first line in the blurb was basically all it took for me to want to read it, so I'm pretty confident that I am going to enjoy it. But the blurb starts. Yadriel has summoned a ghost, and now he can't get rid of him. It's the first line of the blurb, and it's It made me laugh and it made me curious, and now I have to know. And I know that it's a Latino book, and I know that I'm going to pronounce all the names with a very Swedish accent. So it's gonna happen. When we get to the wrap-up video for September, that's gonna happen. Just putting it out there. But I'm excited. I am. I really am. Taking a sip of tea. So yeah. And then we have... Okay, this is the youngest aged book I have on my TBR. I think. But it's Fablehaven 1, written by Brandon Mull. And it's aged for middle grade schools, but I've heard a lot of people going like, oh, but if you like fantasy, you have to read this because it's really good no matter your age. But it's a fantasy adventure for middle graders, so I'm excited it's on there. I'm not sure how it ended up on my TBR. Yes, I am. Never mind. Carrie Can Read is a booktuber and bookstagrammer, and I'm in her server on Discord, and I was very specific when I asked for my book recs because I struggle to read books that are thicker than 400 pages. So I was very specific, and then one of them was like, oh, but you have to try this. And they recommended me Fablehaven. So... And I mean, the cover is gorgeous, so I have to. Okay, I have to. Don't blame me. But the beginning of the blurb goes, for centuries, mystical creatures of all descriptions were gathered to a hidden refuge called Fablehaven to prevent their extinction. The sanctuary survives today as one of the last strongholds of true magic in a cynical world. And it seems to be the kind of book that younger me would love. That, like, if I were in middle grade and I stumbled upon this book, I'm pretty sure I would devour it in one sitting, in one go, because I was a bookworm. I've always been a bookworm. It's just the way it is. My entire family is bookworms, okay? So I guess I'm, like, feeding my inner child a little with this one. But I'm excited. It sounds really good, so I'm hoping it is. But we'll have to see. And as I've said before, my list of hopefuls isn't like, okay, I have to read these books during this month. If I don't, it's fine. If I do, that's great. But I don't want to put that pressure on myself. And I mean, so far this month, I've only finished one book. So we'll see how that goes. But last but not least on my hopeful list is a book that I have seen all over Instagram. And I think I've even seen some of it on TikTok when I've been on there. So I am mildly terrified, but also very excited. And it is Kingdom of the Wicked. I'm going to butcher the name of the author, but it was written by Kerri Maniscalco. I'm sorry, don't come at me. And it's, of course it's a series. I am actually reading it right now. It's my current read on my e-reader. So... yeah, so far it's really good. It's really intense. It's short chapters. I love short chapters. But I mean, I saw a lot of it for a while and then it just kind of vanished off of the face of bookstore. And I mean, I get it. That's the way it is. Because people read books and books come and they go, and yeah, it is what it is. But still, I finally got around to getting it and I'm excited. It's on my e-reader. But it's a fantasy romance. I'm hoping for some romantic-y stuff going on. And it's a young adult book. And I think I mostly added it to my TBR because the cover is pretty. I do judge books by their covers. I'm sorry. If it's visually pleasing, the chances of me buying it and reading it is a lot bigger than if I don't think it's pretty. It's just the way it is. I wasn't as much of a judgmental character when I was younger. Then I went a lot more by the blurb. But these days, I don't know why. I think it's because the aesthetics of it all has kind of like... I grew up, and when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, young teen, aesthetics wasn't a thing. It didn't matter. They weren't a thing as they are today. So I think the aesthetics kind of just caught up with me. But the cover is really pretty, and I think that's why it ended up on my TBR. But listen to this, okay? Two sisters, one brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. it sounds interesting, right? It's intriguing and it's interesting, and I can't wait to read more of it. I think I'm going to try and get some reading done today, among all the other things I have to do today. Yeah, because since I'm exhausted, the energy is like so limited. But I have a few things I want to get to today, so. But yeah, I am excited for all of these books for various reasons. The only reread is Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, but like I mentioned, if The Luminaries is the only book I read this month, I'm fine with that because the book is great. It's really good. If I do finish more of these books, I'll be excited. Yeah. But it is what it is. I do what I can with my limited spoons. This is the life of a chronically ill person. I have fibromyalgia, and Sweden is rampaging into autumn, which means that the temperatures rise and they drop, which means that my pain rise and drop. So I have to be very careful with what I do, and I live under blankets and under hoodies. So yeah, that's the life of a chronically ill person. This chronically ill person. Not to mention my anxiety, but that's a whole totally different thing. But yeah, those are my hopefuls for September. I think I'm going to switch around how I post my videos for October, but we'll see. I am going to leave it at that though, otherwise I'll just end up rambling. And like I said, I have things I want to do. But thank you for hanging out with me today, and enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun, enjoy your reads, and take care.